Yeah, I don't feel like waiting. Hi, guys. How are you? Hope you're well. Missed you yesterday. No excuse. I was playing a video game, lost track of time. And by the time I saw what time it was like, well, damn. So I was in pain, but that's not what stopped me from doing it. I was going to say I wasn't in pain. I was. But yeah, I was just playing Dying Light 2. And I never finished the story from that one. So I was going through that and looked up and like, oh, shit, it's morning. Um, I guess I'm here to just upset you guys because man, I don't want to be the one to tell you all this. James Comey got indicted and he's probably going to walk away untouched. I know nobody wants to hear that shit because, well, you know, nobody wants to hear it. But the reality is that indictment is so flimsy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look, James Comey deserves to go to jail, especially for something like lying to Congress. Before we move along, thank you, Darth Mando, for becoming a member of the channel. And thank you, Bullwinkle, who says, just to get a head start. Thank you. Appreciate it. So James Comey was finally indicted, and it's a good thing, in my opinion. Before I hear any of the fucking lefties out there like, this is just the lawfare you accuse Trump of us doing to Trump. No, it's not. James Comey actively lied before Congress on several occasions. He abdicated his responsibility as FBI director. He basically tried handing the 2016 election to Hillary, despite what those assholes tried telling you about Comey cost her the election. Bullshit. He was trying to save her. But even with all of that stuff, and let's share this screen because we're going to have to watch this. The reality of the indictment is that it's very flimsy. It relies on, it wasn't even James Comey's testimony. So James Comey testifies in front of the Senate in 2017, where Grassley asks him, hey, have you ever directed anybody to leak information to the press? Anybody in the FBI to leak information to the press? And he says no. But that is not what this is actually about. What this is actually about is Ted Cruz asked Grassley or asked him about this, and Comey says, I stand by what I said then, that no. But he doesn't actually say it in front of Congress. He just says he stands by what he said then. And he said, no, he didn't want to change his messaging. Technically, maybe you can get him with lying to Congress. Maybe. They can name the actual charges against Comey. Yeah, that is the big difference here. I mean, he did lie before Congress. The problem comes in that they waited way too long to bring charges for the more egregious stuff. There is a 5-year statute of limitations on lying before Congress. And that's why we're not going to see that prick Brennan from the CIA. Probably will not see him indicted because the statute of limitations has expired on a lot of that shit already. Unfortunately. Already upset the machine at work. I keep fucking. Keeps fucking. Okay, so give me something else to think about. I got you, sir. I got you, sir. We're going to talk about politics and just my random thoughts. I wanted to watch this CNN clip about the Comey thing, though, because dear fuck. Look, okay. So in the Comey indictment, right? What is it? The Eastern District of Virginia is where this happened, where the indictment comes down. The prosecutor that had been in charge there declined. He's like, I'm not bringing charges. So they replace him, I think it was a him, with some chick like, I'll do it, who has like no real experience prosecuting. They probably should have let this one go. They're just going to give Comey a win on this thing. He's likely, this is in Eastern Virginia. This is not going to result in a guilty verdict. I would love if it does, because he's absolutely fucking guilty of it. But proving it is a whole different matter. And have you guys seen the indictment? It's actually, God bless. It's so sad. I don't like telling you guys that. I really don't. I don't like being the one breaking that news because I saw people so jubilant today. Yeah, getting him. Yay. No, not really. Here's the sad reality of our political world. And I'm not saying this is a good thing. This is just how things actually are. Generally speaking, people don't get in trouble in government. And it's not just them watching each other's backs. It's not just them protecting their own. It's them protecting themselves. You see, if the people get held accountable, well, then the next people could get held accountable. The people in DC who are like, leave James Comey alone. They're not doing that for James Comey. They're not doing that because they're trying to hide any dirt from the FBI. They're doing it because, well, if Comey's held responsible, then later they could be held responsible. It has a similar outcome, but it's entirely different motives. Hey, Jack, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
You know, living the dream.
Oh, that bad, huh?
I'm all right. You know, nothing to write home about.
Fair enough.
Blaze a trail of precedent. Exactly, Faithless. And that's what we actually see when we talk about like cops protecting their own and stuff. It's not even so much that they're protecting their own, it's they're protecting themselves. This is preemptive shielding of themselves. Be like, don't get that shitbag. You might start looking at what I'm doing. And that's what I think we're seeing with Comey and yeah, look, guys, they're not going to bring charges against Brennan, the statute, unless they have a different time frame. Chances are they're not going to get him because the ones we know that motherfucker lied on are more than 5 years old. So,
yeah, this is performative dog and pony show.
Yeah, this indictment is so thin. The stuff that they could have got Comey on, the statute is long since passed. The ones that I would still like to see, you guys can still get Fauci for lying to Congress.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Son of a bitch. I mean, that shit was blatant. Recall him to retestify. I mean, they could do that, but to what end? Yeah, I get what you go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
No, if they're not going to be able to get him on anything, it's pointless.
Yeah, all they're going to do is give Democrats a win on this one.
Yeah.
Look, they went after him and he didn't even do anything wrong. Look, the jury said so, just like they did with OJ.
Yeah, he was found to be totally innocent. Good boy, didn't do nothing.
This is the Eastern District of Virginia. My guess is that that's going to be what? Is that actually down like Norfolk, Virginia Beach area? That's as far east. I don't know where are they out of Richmond? I'm not sure where anywhere they are along the whole eastern seaboard of Virginia, though. You're not getting a Comey indictment or a Comey conviction.
No.
And look, that's not. We should, in some cases, Jack, even when you know the prosecution is going to lose, like in OJ, if you knew OJ was going to turn out exactly as it did, you still go ahead with that case because he was guilty of murder.
Yeah.
In a case like this, where let's, even if he's found guilty, let's say he's found guilty, I think the penalty for lying to Congress is what, a decade? 5 years to a decade, I forget which. If he's convicted, he'll get time served and probation. That's your best case scenario right now. Aren't there bigger shitheads to go after?
One would think.
I get what Comey did was fucking wrong and absolutely, but you let that expire. You let most of that shit expire. Then go after the ones that haven't. I'm glad to see somebody trying to do something, but that's not always the best thing.
Yeah, but then you have to ask yourself, are they really trying if they know that they're not going to get anything?
I think
this just looks like appeasement.
I think that they really do want to win this case against Comey. I just don't think there's enough of a case there, especially where they're going to be bringing it. And yeah, I'm not saying that the prosecutor in this case is going to be throwing it. I'm saying that they put in a yes man instead of somebody who would look at this case and go, "There's no fucking way we're going to win this."
Yeah.
Real quick, thank you, Shio. 38 years ago today, I avoided the coat hanger and tonsils. You can pay that back. You can pay back that horrible image by singing to annoy chat too. Yes, we can. Shio, this one's for you, my friend. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shio. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sir. Hope you have a great one, my friend.
You have no idea how much I wanted to say happy hanger avoidance day.
Bob Potato, thank you. Even if they had Comey on video murdering someone execution style, I'd still give it a 50-50 on him walking away scot-free. Yeah, I mean, I get the metaphorical bloodlust to see people brought to trial. I get it. These people got away with some horrible fucking shit. And unfortunately, that's just the way the world works sometimes.
Yeah, bad guys don't always get punished.
Thank you, Bullwinkle. Trump should pardon everyone, and then they cannot claim the 5th when called to testify. At least we would learn the truth. Well, the thing with the pardon is they have to accept the pardon, and in order to accept the pardon, you have to admit you were guilty.
Yeah, and they're never going to admit that.
Yeah.
And even then, they'd still lie to us.
Yep.
Just on the off chance that there's some loophole or some other charge they could be brought up on. These people are evil. That's the important part to remember here is people like Comey, they're snakes.
Oh, yeah.
Real fast. Thank you, Circus Zero, from after my stream yesterday. Very generous. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it quite a bit.
All right. Now, I wanted to watch the CNN coverage of this, not because Comey, because again, it's a pretty open and shut case of whether or not he lied before Congress. He clearly did. The problem is how it is all shuffled down and how they have extended the statute of limitations based on him being asked a question about what he had previously said. But CNN says something here that just made my fucking brain go brrr.
Charges against James Comey are historic, but President Trump is suggesting the former FBI director may not be his only political adversary facing an indictment in the near future.
Wow. So many wows right there. Darth Mandalore, thank you for becoming a member for month number 22. Auto pen pardon, and once all is done, say the pardon is not legit and send him to jail. LOL. Yeah, I'm fairly certain the Cosby decision would come into play there.
Real fast. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. Look, fuck Comey, but he's the least of my concern.
Yep.
The DOJ activated the Joint Terrorist Task Forces, and I want them to fucking do something except strongly worded tweets. Well, good luck with that, because Pam Bondi says lots of things and doesn't really do anything.
If you paid attention to this, at the beginning of it, she says the charges against Comey are historic, but do you remember when historic was enough for charges to be the full story? That was the whole thing. It was, hey, these are historic charges against Trump. Did I tell you how historic they are? This is historical. But here it's like, but we need to change the subject quickly. I fucking love that. And I love how she said, and Trump hinted that he was going to go after his political adversaries.
Yo, knows.
Are you calling the former FBI director? Are you saying he was Trump's adversary when he was there?
I mean, I'll say it, but because
Yeah.
the guy was obviously had to stick up his ass against Trump, but they're not going to outright say anything like that. They just need to veil it as this is evil.
Speaking today, the president implied that some of his other political foes could soon be targeted. Here's how he responded to a question about a possible list of other opponents who could be in the DOJ's crosshairs.
That's the part that, like, are you fucking with me? A possible list of other opponents.
In his crosshairs.
In his cross. He's going to shoot him, you guys. All right. Trump is a petty man. He absolutely is. And I have no doubt that he will gleefully giggle at anybody who gets indicted who opposed him, caused him problems during his political career since 2015. But the idea of some kind of political hit list is absurd. If he had something like that, this would have already happened. This would have happened back in 2017 when he first got in there. I know he's clearly got one of them political hit list things.
Let's be honest. That shit would have got leaked day one, hour one.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, Trump would have showed everybody.
Yeah. He would have. It's like a mile long. It'd be like dot matrix paper that, folded out. Be like, these are my enemies. I'm going to destroy them.
It looked like Santa's list, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Green marker, red marker. Good boy, bad boy.
Yes.
Boy, bad boy.
But they actually play the exchange.
It's not a list, but I think there'll be others. I mean, they're corrupt. These were corrupt, radical left Democrats. But Comey essentially was he's worse than a Democrat. I would say the Democrats are better than Comey.
I fucking love this man.
But no, there'll be others. Look, that's my opinion. He lied. That was a very important question that he was there. And
the fact that he has to stop and say that's my opinion, he'd already made it clear that that's what his opinion was. I think there will be others.
Probably.
I think this. And are you saying there's going to be others? It's my opinion, fucker. I think this should happen. But boy, they got to try to. He's got a list and he's checking it twice, you guys. He's going to get them all. He's going to collect them like a Antifa member collects children charges.
Gotta poke them all.
Yeah. Jesus, man.
Took you a second.
No, actually, my Jesus man was about this. I get that they don't like Donald Trump. I just don't understand why they have to be so hyperbolic about everything.
Because they are propagandists who really hate him, and they can't stop thinking that their audience is borderline retarded. So they have to constantly say it to him.
Well, if you remember the beginning of this, she said Donald Trump hinted that others were coming. No, he didn't. He gave his opinion that others should be coming.
Nope, they've already framed the narrative.
She says what she wants you to hear. And then she plays this clip. And if you're not paying attention, like, oh my God, he did say others are going to be indicted. He said they were corrupt. One, they were corrupt. Many of them. And two, that's not what he said. He didn't say that. He didn't hint that there were going to be others. He said that he believes that it should happen. It's very similar to what he said on the plane about other talk show hosts losing their shows like Kimmel did. He didn't say he was going to make it happen or that it's coming down. No. It was him giving his opinion.
Yeah.
And I understand that as the president, we've got this idea that whatever they say means that's exactly what they're doing. And that comes from Democrats being crooked shitbags.
Yeah. Real quick. Thank you, Shio, for the tip. I can't read that, dude. I read that ahead. You almost got me, but I cannot read that. I'll share it with Monkey after the stream, though. It's really dark, man. I'm sorry. It's disgustingly funny. I'm a bad person for laughing at that, too.
This kind of shit just annoys the shit. This is what I hate about our press and why I rip on them so much, because they're dirty. Bullwinkle, thank you. Trump is a meme lord. He really is. He really is.
Yeah, and he's an old-timey meme lord, like grandfather level.
And he comes from a time where hyperbole was a much bigger part of our politics.
Yeah.
And you're just not allowed to anymore. He gave his opinion, but they'll always be like, Richard Nixon. Nixon was a shitbag, but most of the bad shit that happened under Nixon was happening under Johnson and Kennedy, and ever since J. Edgar Hoover got his fat little hooves into the place.
Hey,
I mean, it was
hard to get those high heels on.
Yeah. That shit, like the racist shit the FBI was doing. King was killed in 1968. That's before Nixon takes office. But it was that Nixon's. No. That was Johnson. It was absolutely Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that presidents don't abuse their powers sometimes, Jack, because of course they do. And I'm not even saying Trump doesn't abuse his power from time to time. Honestly, don't know. That's the kind of shit we usually find out after they've left the office. This is why I think all public officials should be mic'd at all times when they're on, serving.
Yeah.
Bullwinkle, thank you. The first meme that began it all was CNN going after a kid that started the great meme war of 2016. I mean, the memes had already been going on at that point. That's why CNN was so pissed off about that meme. Because, they had already kicked off. That just spurred it into further conflict because a whole bunch of people who would have just been sitting on the sidelines were like, fuck it, let's take them down.
Yeah, that kicked it into overdrive for sure.
Yep. But anyway, there it is. Comey's probably going to get off, but they're going to treat this like Trump is just going after his political enemies. He's just being that bastard we all know him to be. Fuck right off. I'm so tired of it. And in that same vein, our next story is coming from CNN too. Hang on, I gotta watch an ad so we can watch the video. Well, it's on their site and there's no way around it.
Yeah. I understand
that. Oh God, 20 seconds of this fucking ad. It's not even in English. Why do they do this? How many people are coming to the CNN main page speaking in Spanish? I'm pretty sure this is like Korean that I'm listening to. It's a Lexus commercial.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of K-pop dramas one time on YouTube, and I got Korean ads after a while.
Oh my God. I don't even watch K-pop, anime, none of that shit. The closest I've come to that is watching the Ice video the other day where they played the Pokemon theme song, which funny as fuck, by the by.
Still funny, yeah.
All right, so I want to watch the video, and then we're going to look at the headline that's attached to it.
An immigration and customs enforcement agent has been relieved of his current duties after shoving a woman to the ground during a confrontation at an...
Oh, they put it right there, and that's the headline. Immigration official relieved of duty after shoving woman to the ground.
So?
Did you see that woman get shoved to the ground?
No.
She didn't get shoved to the ground. He was pushing her back against the wall, and they'll get to this in a second, and they fell over. And by I'm not being politically correct in my pronoun use. Her and the agent fall over.
Yeah, I think he got stuck in her gravitational pull.
But listen to, from shoved her to the ground. They literally just said that.
Immigration courthouse in New York, according to an ICE official. The incident happened after agents detained a man, reportedly her husband, at the ICE district office in Lower Manhattan. Agents separated the pair, who were clinging together with a girl, and took the woman into a nearby room. Later, she returned to the hallway, visibly upset, waving her hands toward an agent. That's when the agent forcibly pushed her up against a wall. The two then fell to the floor as...
So they just admitted that they both fell to the floor.
Yeah.
He didn't shove her to the floor. So
The
the
original-
first sentence was a lie.
The original framing shoved her to the ground. Then they fell to the floor. This is our press. This is our news. They lie in the same fucking video that they show that they lied.
The truth doesn't matter to them.
And it's not just CNN, just our two things to show it today are both from CNN. But this is how they do the news all the time. So the two then fell to the floor. So you lied. Got it. Yeah, they absolutely lied. And that's what their headline screams. He's fired for, relieved of his current duty is what it says, for shoving a woman to the ground.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit. Like, she wasn't an innocent bystander in this. And it did look like she was coming in to shove him again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think his response was totally unwarranted. She had already been involved in a scuffle with the cops. You have to assume that since she's screaming and approaching you, she might be a threat. And honestly, I thought this would be a lot worse because I hadn't seen this video yet. And I was like expecting, him just to shove her randomly and then storm off. He didn't do that. He pushed her back. It wasn't even that aggressive. If you're asking me, it wasn't nearly as... I've seen police interaction videos that are way more aggressive. Come on.
Dangerous. The link is too long for me to put it in chat, so I DM'd it to you, friend. He asked for the link, and I don't know why CNN has a 900 character long link for this.
Because they're asshats.
He's relieved of his current duties. Chances are he'll get them back really quick because he didn't do anything wrong here.
No, and it's a load of shit. They should have arrested her too after she was attempting to de-arrest.
Yeah, she was acting crazy. I understand why she was acting crazy. She's being separated from her illegal husband. That's got to be traumatic, but how about fuck off?
Yeah, how about don't marry an illegal? How about that one?
She swings at the officer. What did you expect to happen? Can you believe that he pushed her? They even say it. Tried pushing her against a wall, then they fell to the floor.
Yeah, that's pretty typical of police procedure in any case. If there's somebody coming at you, you restrain them. And he pushed her back up to the wall. He didn't do it overly aggressively. It looks a little aggressive, but come on, watch any police interaction video where the words excessive force are used, and you're going to see way worse than this. He didn't start beating her with a club when she got on the ground either. They both fell down and had a little oopsie poopsie.
Now, this next one, I'm actually a little bit sad because you can read at the bottom of it that
that's a cute kitten.
X has already corrected this, but this lady said there's a Bud Light can in the cup holder in the seat in front of him at the least. That's what it looks like in the video. He said he wouldn't touch alcohol 24/7 while he was Secretary of Defense because it's a 24/7 job. And then she links this video of Pete Hegseth in a Vikings getup at a Commanders game. One, I wouldn't care if he went to a ball game and had a beer. Don't care. As long as he's not on duty at the time. And I don't care what Hegseth says here. Being Secretary of Defense is not the same as president. You're actually not 24/7. You're until you're done for the end of the day, and then if they need you, this is why we have
like
undersecretary.
call, but
yeah, it's not exactly the same as the president, who's literally president 24/7. But
yeah,
he said it. He said he's not gonna be doing the drinking while he's Secretary of Defense. The thing is, many of us, myself included, as soon as I saw the video, I'm like, when did the Commanders last play the Vikings? Because, Jack, in football, they have what they call divisions. There are eight divisions. Yeah. There's 8 divisions in the league, and those divisions play their own division every year. If you're not in the same division, there's a good chance you won't play another one of those teams for 4 or 5 years. The last time these two teams met up was in 2022.
Oops.
So
you forgot linear time doesn't exist, monkey.
He wasn't Secretary of Defense. Dangerous, thank you. Some Dems wanted to compile lists of Trump supporters after Biden won the 2020 election. Hillary talked about deprogramming Trump supporters. These pearl clutchers can get fucked. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, we've heard them talk about their lists that they want to have before. So they can all get fucked. But yeah, this was the big gotcha moment I saw today. Like, look, we got him. He's having a beer again. Do you honestly think that if Pete Hegseth went to a ball game today, that this is where his seat would be?
No.
I mean, he's the Secretary of Defense. I'm thinking he could probably get in a box somewhere. Just saying. But yeah, this was one of those such easily provable bullshit. Like, he said he wouldn't drink, and you didn't show any evidence that he did, dumbass. And literally all you had to do was, when did the Commanders last? Oh, maybe you don't even know the teams. Ask a sports person. And then after they tell you the names of the two teams, when did they last play each other? It was like September of 2022. But what does truth matter, right? I mean, we got to stop all that misinformation. Unless it's us giving the misinformation.
They don't give misinformation, monkey. They give truth seeds. Sometimes those truth seeds sprout. Sometimes they don't.
This one says, anybody that discusses sexuality with kindergartners is a predator, not a teacher. And this is misinformation too. Because sometimes it's a member of law enforcement asking the kindergartner where the teacher touched them.
Yeah. Did they touch your no-no squares?
Yeah. So I correct misinformation on this show. It's what we do. And so it just a reminder, sometimes people discussing sexuality with kindergartners is because of their teacher, not them claiming to be a teacher.
Yeah.
That's all. Just always amuses me to point out that I guess amuses isn't the right word. Saddens me to point out, how many fucking child predators are in the public ranks of our teachers.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of gross.
Okay, this one I'm curious on everybody's opinion on it. We're not watching the video or anything, but Bullwinkle, thank you. Secretary of War. Oh yeah, that's right. I think they should go back to what they used to call it, the War Secretary. It was the Department of War back in the day, Jack.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be again.
Before they pussied it up.
Somebody asked on X today, is it ever okay to put your child on a leash? And I got to be honest with you, Jack. When I first saw child leashes, I didn't have kids yet. And I was like, that's kind of cruel and stupid.
No, it's one of the greatest inventions ever. Keep those sticky-fingered little weirdos away from me with their cereal breath and poop smell.
As I've gotten older, I've come to agree with that. Well, maybe not the way you put it.
You know
Hey,
I'm right.
I can't believe you're not married with kids.
I know, right?
Um,
It's kind of surprising. What's up, ladies? Why are you doing this to me?
If you want to have that attitude and still have kids, you got to be my daughter. She used to be so anti-kid, and she still is mostly anti-kid, just not her kids, which I agree with because her kids are awesome. I don't think you should have the kid on a leash all the time. I think it's kind of like dogs. You let them off at the park.
Yeah. When there's an appropriate venue, you let them off. But kids have a bad habit of running toward danger.
I first had the idea we should probably get leashes. We never put our kids on leashes. We probably should have.
Well,
but
not every kid needs one because some of them actually listen to their parents.
Oh, it's not that mine listened. I just stayed back far enough that I could see them all most of the time.
Yeah, close enough to intercept, but far enough away it looks like they have some freedom.
The one time that changed was when my son disappeared in a grocery store because I didn't know this, but me and the kids walked to the back of the store. Mom stayed up front. We were grabbing something, and he sees Mom down the aisle and took off very quietly.
They do that. Oh, they're sneaky bastards. You got to watch them at all times.
I start counting, and there's only 2 of the 3 who should be with me. And I don't see that little bastard nowhere. And at this point, Lady Monkey and him had moved, so they weren't straight down an aisle. They were in front of an end cap.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't see them either.
And then you start to get that, like, fear welling in your stomach.
Yeah, I saw Adam when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, John Walsh only saw his head. Too soon? That movie terrified every parent. Everybody that had kids saw the documentaries or the
was
story.
A kid. I said, or was a kid.
Yeah, or was a kid who had to experience that. Because that was what, 1980?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so every kid of that generation was affected by that child going missing. That was an unavoidable story.
Mm-hmm. And I actually like the idea of leashes, not for kids staying away. I don't think you should use it the way you do with a dog. Like, no, get over here. But just as a way to keep track of them so that they don't wander off. When I worked at Walmart, we had what we called the Code Adam, and that was a child missing in the store.
Yeah.
Everybody stops what they're doing, and you get on the hunt for that child. Thankfully, not one of those was there ever a child abducted. They wandered the fuck off like kids do.
Yeah, that's typically what happens. When I was working store security, we had occasionally find a child and we couldn't find the parent. So we're like, do you know where your parents went? They clearly wandered off. Like, yeah, my parents wander off all the time.
No, we always found we always had this issue with the children. I was cashiering one day. They needed help on the registers. I was bored. Like, fuck it, I'm good at it. I'll do it. And the mom was checking out. I'm ringing her up, and her kid disappears while I'm standing there. And I can't go help look for this kid.
Yeah.
And my heart sank. If somebody abducted this child from my line, that'll fuck me up for life. But no,
right?
He just wandered off down to the little arcade thing, and the way he walked away, he was behind his mom the whole time, so I never saw him. But if she had a leash on that little bastard, none of us would have had to be worried.
Yeah. It's like taking a puppy for a walk. So puppies always come back when you call them.
I get why people see this as demeaning or demoralizing or, hey, your kid's not an animal. Like, well, they kind of are. They shit themselves, wander off, bark at strangers. There's all kinds of stuff that's the same.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's a pointy thing or a cliff or a moving object anywhere,
Yep.
children will run toward it. They are little danger machines. They're like, it's like a magnetic pull. They're like, oh, danger, I'm gonna run toward that.
Yeah. Look, you shouldn't be doing this like when they're 10. You shouldn't be doing Cartman, right?
I mean, it kind of depends on the kid.
I suppose you're right there, but
These
when
days,
they're-
especially, there's some 20-year-olds that need these things.
when they're toddlers and stuff, absolutely, I'm on board with leashing these little bastards up.
Yeah, it's just safer for the kids.
Yeah,
I know the kids
absolutely.
hate it too, but that just teaches them to follow directions a lot faster.
Well, I mean, if the kid hates it, they'll get used to it. That's how. You got to break them like you do with an animal.
Yeah, it's all about the training. Maybe you give them a little treat for putting their harness on, like you do with the
That's
dog.
right. Here's a cheesy poof. Good boy.
Yeah, and I like how they've got different. Like that one had Mickey Mouse ears on it, and they have different designs to kind of dress it up, so the kid feels like it's some sort of almost like a dress up thing, as opposed to like time to put your leash on, you little bastard.
Well, thank you, 80-year-olds that can still walk. It wouldn't be a bad idea to get these for the kind of people, Alzheimer's patients. Put them on a little leash.
Yeah, well, I mean, you put air tags on old people so that you can avoid a gray
Gray area.
No, they have the gray alert or silver alerts. Is that what they're called?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you just put an air tag on them or in their pockets and be like, look, this is your lucky coin. You don't go anywhere without it. Okay. And they wander off. You can track them.
Just get one of those.
And he's gone. Yeah, I'm all for microchipping old people. My mom had dementia, and one of my friend's dads just got diagnosed with really bad Alzheimer's, and he likes to drive, so he tends to go out on the road and not know where he is.
Thank you. Michael says, need one of those for my girlfriend in Walmart.
Right?
Michael,
With the girlfriend's sorry.
The real question is, does she know she's your girlfriend?
What you need to do is get one with a zapper on it, so they get near any expensive purses or anything, they get a little shock.
Yeah. I just think that because we call it a leash, maybe we should call it a lead, so it's more like a horse rather than a dog.
Yeah, but then you get to put a bridle and a bit on them, and you giddy up, little boy.
And we're back to Antifa. Anyway.
Real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. Are you and Monkey getting close to microchipping age? Yeah. Another 20 years, I'll probably need one. I'm getting pretty on in the years.
I am not opposed to getting microchipped. I'm really not. As long as
I'm old, yeah.
As long as the person with the receiver is my wife and not my president.
Yeah. One thing that would be, for people like me, when I end up getting really old, I already don't like leaving the house. So you'd only have to look for me at like Walmart or the comic shop. And maybe Ollie's. That'd be about it. And they'll be like, there he is. We narrowed it down. We guessed correctly, sir.
Michael says yes, and she still runs off the second I look away. That's a training issue, sir.
Yeah.
What you need is a rolled up piece of newspaper and some treats.
And they're supposed to be 2 steps behind you and never leave your side. Get her the big black trash bag outfit, the burkas, and the what are they called? The whole trash bag thing.
Yeah, I know, the beekeeper outfits.
Yeah, get her one of them. Just be like, look, you're Muslim now, as far as marriage and stuff like that. So you have to stay 2 steps behind me. Which I don't think I could do to anyone because, dear God, those things must be like sweaty.
Yeah, why want your woman to stink?
I think it's a weird fetish they have in the Middle East for BO.
At least let them put on white so it's not so hot.
Nah, then the dirt will soak through, and they probably don't wear pads and stuff.
Gigi Evans, thank you. Jimmy Walker White Label here. Those child leashes make for great flying trapeze bits when the kid wants to swing. I bet. Check that shit out and make sure it's tight. I don't know what. See, I was thinking, got to make sure it's got a nice harness, and then I just had that image of the guy who thought he was in a harness for a bungee jump and wasn't. You ever seen that video?
Yeah.
And the two guys at the top are like, "Oh, huh."
Whoops.
That is such a haunting video.
Yeah.
Think of all the times you've done something stupid where you skipped a step and it turned out to be no big deal. This guy, he did that in the worst possible way.
Oh man, it's like when they don't secure the safety bar correctly on a roller coaster and you see somebody flying.
What did Jimmy Walker always say? He said, "Dynamite."
Yeah. Yeah, the cop, that's what it's called. Thank you, Faithless. Yeah, they do look like ninja chicks, except sometimes they're fat.
All right, I have a couple of things I want to talk about that I don't have stories for. So we're just going to look at the kitten while we do it.
Oh, okay.
One is a thought I saw Greg Gutfeld talking about on The Five. I think he's talked about on a show a sense, but I don't watch Gutfeld every night.
Yeah.
I catch it if I know Tyrus and Kat are going to be on because they're the two that I actually like on the show.
Yeah, Cat's hilarious.
Jamie, what's his name? When he comes on, he's actually really funny too. And he's got a comedy special on YouTube. Does anybody know his last name? Jamie whatever?
Fallon? Is that it?
No, the fuck is his name? Excuse me. But anyway, the idea that Greg put out was that it's okay to insult your political opponents and stuff.
Lizzo.
Yes, Jamie Lizzo. His fucking stand-up is funny as shit. You should check it out. But they kind of took that away from us. And like if you call somebody fat, like, oh my God, I can't believe you called him fat. That's like the worst thing you could ever do. Meanwhile, these same people are like, you're a Nazi. And maybe if we went back to your mama's so fat rather than you're a Nazi, things would be better off. Maybe if we just went back to some personal insults rather than, accusing you of genociding a whole group of people, maybe we'd be better off with just being a little bit more childish in our politics rather than being so fucking serious about everything all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the problem is you can't even exchange like personal jabs jokingly with your friends because everybody's such a pussy now.
Yeah. I mean, famously, Jack Kemp told the joke about Bob Dole's library burning down, and he was really upset because there were a couple of books he'd almost finished coloring.
Yeah.
He said that out loud about somebody in Congress with him. And everybody just went, that's some funny shit, and everybody moved about their day. Now it's like, he's trying to kill all the transes. Frank, thank you so much. Off topic, but you're talking randomly. The last few nights, I've read a couple chapters of the Bible out of curiosity. Raised Catholic, but agnostic/atheist. I'm up to Babel. Oddly, God keeps referring to itself in plural. Was curious on your idea on why. In the Old Testament, I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. It could be a translation issue. It could be the idea that God is in everything and is everybody. I don't know. You'd have to ask a theologian. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, theologian. There are a couple of things that were altered in the Bible too, not just translation issues, but they were heavily edited. Like there's a reference to God having a wife in Genesis. I think her name is Aisha. No, it's not Aisha. That's
Aisha. God is black. Y'all know there ain't no white girl's name Aisha. Go ahead.
There's Asherah. Asherah. It's referenced once or twice in Genesis and one of the other books. I think the Psalms. But that was some sort of a change made later on, where that character kind of just didn't exist anymore. And there's also the idea that of the demiurge and what the Gnostics had, where God isn't actually the creator. He's somebody that thought he was God. And Jesus came to kind of poke a hole in that narrative. It's a fascinating story that the demiurge had these archons that would show up. It's very complicated, but I highly recommend checking it out. And those might be two possible things worth pursuing to try and explain some of that.
Michael, thank you. I'm glad you bring this up. This is where I was going next.
Yeah.
God is three distinct persons, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Even from the beginning, the Word being Jesus, both was and was with God. But the idea of the Holy Trinity doesn't pop up until the New Testament. So if you're looking at just...
And he's gone. There's also the royal we. That's what a lot of royalty used to do back in the day. Oh, there you are.
Yeah. If you're reading this from the Jewish perspective, the we would make literally no sense.
Yeah, but God did refer to himself in third person too, so
there's a lot of reasons it could be. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. We need to get back to where we can insult people with just insults. We need to get back to where we can just go, that's a fat fuck. That is a stupid prick. That is a lazy cunt.
For the record, we have moved on from God. We are not talking about the Jewish God anymore. We are talking about insults again.
I'm okay with you calling God a fat cunt if you want to. That's between you and him. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
I just didn't want any confusion. So because we don't need the unnecessary hate mail.
Thank you, Bullwinkle. The golden rule remains the best one. Treat others like you want them to treat you. Well, I want other people to respect my wishes. So by the golden rule, then I have to give them their wishes, even if that means it's not something I would want done to me. The golden rule is actually a conundrum. So I don't know how we get back to it. I really don't. I don't know how we ended up in a world where calling somebody a Nazi was okay, to the point where it's said on network news all the time. Like, we're not talking network news in 1940s. I mean, today, that word is thrown around like Nazi, fascist. Okay, but how come I can't call you stupid or retarded? Retarded is too offensive to say.
How dare you?
But Nazi's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to blame the women's. Real quick, Frank, thank you. From what I found, it is the same in Hebrew. Here it says things like, let us go down, or let us create them in our own image. I see the Christian answers of Holy Spirit. I'm curious on Jews and agnostic ideas. I'll let it go, though, as fat fuck is me. No, I'm happy to talk about it, but I do want to continue my one thought. As an agnostic, it has literally no meaning, because I don't believe that humans understand. If there's a God, I don't believe we understand him. That's as far as I want to go on that. Yeah, I think we need to get. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I maintain that it's probably something to do with the way that it was written down. Is royalty generally referred to themselves as plural?
I think we need to get back to a more uncivilized time when things seem to be more civil.
Yeah, but where you could openly speak your mind without having to self-censor.
Yeah, when you take away all the fun insults, all you're left with is the more aggressive stuff. Like, you can't call him retarded. Be nice and call him a Nazi. That's literally where we're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you call him retarded, you're insulting retarded people. I agree, just not in the way that you think. The idea that, like, the other day I saw an argument because, once again, like, you should never use the R word. Fuck you. But the argument is that it's demeaning to retarded people. It's really not.
No, they call themselves retarded.
Retarded people have an excuse. So when you're comparing somebody to a retarded person in that manner, you're pointing out they don't have an excuse. I don't expect deep thinking from a Downsy. I do expect it more from our political leaders. And to suggest that me calling Ilhan Omar a brother fucker, which I believe her to be, is worse and more dangerous and causing death threats to her more than you calling Charlie Kirk a Nazi is retarded.
Well, let me adapt with the times, since the new term is developmentally disabled. It's that is so developmentally disabled.
That's just a longer way of saying retard.
Yep, but that's what they did with these linguistic games they like to play.
Remember when they used to just be mentally challenged?
Yeah, that was the nice way. And then people started going, I'm mentally challenged. If you say anything like that, it's going to sound like an insult.
Michael, thank you. Tectone was right. Better to be called a slur than slander. Yeah, I mean, in that case, we'll use the other word that because he called somebody a whore. That's not the one he got in trouble for. So he called somebody a whore and got suspended for it. And they're like, how dare you call her a whore? And that same person has called him a rapist, and there was no repercussions.
Yep. It's always one group protected over the others.
So in our current society, it is better to falsely label somebody a rapist than to correctly identify someone as a whore. Alan, thank you, says, morning, monkey. Good morning. But that goes to the heart of what I'm talking about here. When you remove all of the other words you're allowed to call people, yeah, don't insult them. Don't say anything about their looks or their family background or their intelligence. No. All you're left with is criminal accusations. I mean, the rise of people being called pedos online has been astronomical, where if you could just call them retard, I don't think that would have happened. I think only the pedos would be called pedos then.
Yeah.
But there's some people out there who use pedo like I use cunt. It's just a word to use. No, fucker, that has a real meaning that we should not water down.
Yeah.
My helmet is better than your helmet. We've got to get away from this nonsense of just simple insults. Look, you can sit there and pretend you're better than everyone else, and I don't insult people, and good for you. Awesome. I'm not that person.
Yeah,
we're different people. Yeah, you stay up there on your fucking high horse. I'll be down here in the mud with the pigs, calling people pigs, because it's, I mean, my opinion on what they are, and it's funny.
Yeah. Real quick, let me grab a couple here. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. There was a comedian named Sean Roos who said, if you're retarded and offended by that joke, you're not retarded. Stop hiding behind that big ass head and get a job. I mean, he's not wrong. Thank you, Alan, who says, morning, my friend. Good morning, Alan. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, guys.
Bullwinkle says, I still think we should attack ideas and not persons. I think we can do both. It's always funny to me if I respond to somebody on Twitter and I write like 3 paragraphs worth, and all of it addresses what they say, but at the end of it, I call them a dumb fuck, and they're like, oh, you did an ad hom. I won't respond to anything you say. Yeah, because nothing else I said matters. The reason I do that to people, and I'm just going to be dead serious, is because I know that's how it's going to turn out. And it's funny to me watching them be like, well, now I don't have to I don't have to address any of the points you said because you called me a name.
What gets me is a lot of time they'll be the ones doing the initial name calling, and that's okay. But when you do it, it's an ad hom, and I don't have to address anything you said that disproves my stupidity.
Well, one of the funniest parts of that is a lot of the times they don't consider what they said insulting.
Yeah.
Like, you're just in a cult. That's not insulting to them.
No, or you're a Nazi.
And that's the part that is the dangerous part, because to them that's not an insult, it's a truth. I'm not just a guy who disagrees with them and thinks they're stupid. I am a Nazi.
The utterance has been spoken, ergo it is now true because they deemed it as such. They declared bankruptcy, like Michael Scott.
Ad hom isn't name calling. It's more complex than that. Yeah, you and I both know that, Spoonie, but it is here on the internet. If somebody calls you a name, and they could call you a whore and you could be an actual whore, and they'd be like, that's an ad hom. Bullwinkle, thank you. The left have no sense of self or sense of humor. Yeah, and this is why I blame women. This is why I blame women.
Yeah.
Because you and me, Jack, if we were sitting around and I called you a fat bastard and you called me a big-headed fuckwad, it would probably be in good fun as we were hanging out.
Yeah.
You can't call your women friends fat fucks and big-headed retards.
No, the pumpkin spice Americans get very upset by that.
Yeah, they take that. They're like, oh my God, he thinks I'm fat. I can never eat again.
They will, though. They will.
All of this has been in the service of making women feel more comfortable, because I often laugh at the idea of men and women becoming friends, because we don't really become friends. I know there's going to be some people in chat like, no, I have women friends. No, I have male friends. No, you don't. You have women that, if you're a man, you have women that you censor yourself around, and then you have male friends. Because women do not want us to treat them like we treat our male friends, because you would cry constantly. Where we're just like, yeah, that was funny. And that's where the whole your mama thing came from. We're snapping and what they call it in the 90s. Snapping. Playing the numbers is what it was back in the 60s. All of this shit comes from men just dogging on each other, because that's how we hang out and deal. And they're like, but women need to be.
Dude, what is with your internet today? Swing low, sweet Jane.
My internet has decided to be a bitch.
Yeah, notice that.
Guys talking to guys is different from talking to women. Yes.
Yeah.
We clean up and we're more sensible about it. And I'm not saying men and women can't interact. I'm saying that men should have their own spaces, like video games. Women should have their own lobbies on video games.
Yeah,
I
agree.
They shouldn't be hanging out with the dudes. Because while I have known a few good gamers who were female and could hang with the boys, the majority of women can't. I think we should have to vote them in.
Yeah, and there should be a probationary basis and the ability to throw them out if they start getting too bitchy.
If one guy says no, then it's a no. That's it. Keldrick, thank you. Whenever someone gets mad at me for calling someone a retard, respond to them with something like, excuse me, you're right. I shouldn't call you a retard. It's insulting to retards to reduce them to your level of intelligence. That's fair. Most of the people who get offended, retarded people don't get offended when I call someone else retarded. They're not like, hey, I'm the retard. How dare you?
No, it's weirdly a mantle nobody wants to claim.
Yeah.
Maybe because the crown smells disgusting.
Retard became a thing you weren't allowed to say because some woman had a retarded kid. And instead of just dealing with her life, she saw somebody say retard online, and we all had to stop saying it.
Yeah, she had to save little Timmy from any kind of insensitivity in life so he could go through life constantly in fear and offended.
That way she didn't have to wonder if it was all the drugs and alcohol she did that made the kid retarded, she could just be mad at you for saying the word.
Yeah, instead of her bad genetics.
I love you women. I do, but you guys are actually making society worse with your oversensitivity shit. And you gentlemen out there who play along, you're worse because you know better.
Yeah, and you're sellouts, let's face it.
You're just out there saying the right thing. Look, and if you want to not say retard, then don't say retard. It's that easy. If you don't want to use words, don't use words. There's tons of people who don't come close to swearing as much as I do and who find me vulgar for the amount of swearing I do. Even people who swear.
Yeah.
And that's cool. You do you. But stop trying to tell everybody else what they can and can't do, because all you're leaving us with is hate. There's no fun to be had anymore. Let it bring back fun. That's what we really need to do.
Fun was disallowed, Monkey. I'm sorry. That's Nazi behavior, remember. You have to be super serial all the time.
Yeah, it's just fucking retarded, man. What was the other one? Oh, God. I was on Frosted's channel tonight.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Oh, it went pretty well. It went really well.
I have to apologize to Frosted because he messaged me at like 5 and I didn't see it until after the show was over. So sorry, Frosted.
Well, we've been trying to hook up and get me on the show for a while, and I finally have a date where I'm not busy, and this is a very limited window because here in about another week, I am busy until Christmas. I have shit going on every fucking weekend. But we finally get a day, and it's coming up, and I did not get to sleep until almost 2 p.m. today. And so I sent him a message like, dude, if you don't hear from me by 8, you might want another guest. But I woke up at 7:30. I'm well rested. Anyway, the one article that we covered, and I'm not bringing it up and giving the shitbag not Frosted, the author, any attention. But he was making the argument that freedom is only, he actually says this, freedom is only a virtue if it's used properly. If it's used for the
what?
Yeah, if it's used for the advancement of humankind, if it's to help humanity flourish. Freedom is not a virtue.
That is.
Freedom isn't a virtue. Freedom is a tool of virtue in this idiot's mind. Because it can be used wrong, Jack.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's the whole point of freedom.
The whole point of freedom is that if I'm not hurting you, fuck off.
Yeah, it's none of your business, weirdo.
Faithless says that would be slavery. Yeah, I mean, instead of just coming out and saying that he doesn't actually believe in freedom, he still dresses it up as the progressive good kind of freedom.
Who gets to decide that though? Like, oh, I'm sorry, you're freedoming wrong.
You know, that's the exact question I asked, Jack. Who gets to decide?
No. See,
because
I off the internet and then I start stepping all over what you're doing here. And
no, this is, you and I are in agreement with this kind of stuff, looking at these idiots who declare themselves the arbiter of what is good and isn't. There was a time that the majority of society thought it was best for society to keep races separate. Here in the US, that's what the majority thought was the best thing to do. Most people don't do things thinking it's the worst thing to do. And that's the problem with trying to base freedom on high-minded morality that you get to impose. Well, this is what everybody thinks right now. And that's clearly good. The good of society. Well, who gets to... You can't tell what was actually good for society until after you're done. Until you've implemented it and seen it. The best laid plans of mice and men.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, a lot of policies over the years, like putting Jews in ghettos, making women wear the garbage bags and walk 2 steps behind you. those are all very popular ideas in their countries at the time.
Sure.
Are we going to adopt those? Are we going to start
No.
telling people? I mean, look, the UK is instituting a lot of these type of things now. They want to have Sharia courts. Dearborn is talking about instituting Sharia courts. And they play the Muslims prayer thing. I mean, is that a good idea? Are you comfortable with that? I'm not.
Well, he wouldn't be, because those aren't progressive values. But what about mutilating children? Something that's actually placing. This is something that right now high-minded leftist bullshit artists are telling us is what's needed. We need to mutilate these children so that they can look like what they feel. They feel like a stink hole? What? I don't understand.
Yeah, this is some sort of mutilation fetish. And pedos. Let's not forget that.
It is a bastardization of civil rights is what it is. Children, one, don't get to make those kind of decisions. We don't let them enter into contracts, for fuck's sake. But like, no, cut off his wiener and make a big hole in his gut that's going to stink.
Well, I think part of it is to continue, like the medical field wants the money. The trans people want more trans people. And the pedos see that as a perpetual childhood because it retards their growth.
And that's still a small sample of the number of Americans who were on board with this shit.
Yeah.
Because most people, what they see is, this is the right thing to do, because that's what they're told. This is what's right. Look, yes, you're right. The medical community, it's all about the money.
Yep.
Pedo community, they just want to fuck kids. The LGBTs, there's not enough of them to even think about what it matters. It is everyone else. It is the half of America at one point who's like, no, some of this is okay to do to kids. Those are just normal people who think they're doing the right thing. That's why you can't be like, I get to decide which freedoms are the right freedoms. And if you speak against this, then you're right. He even uses free speech as one of the rights that basically needs curtailed because you don't say the right things. He used it in the form of medical misinformation during COVID.
Yeah, but that always, it's such a slippery slope. They start with one thing and they shift over to everything else. It's always mission creep with these people.
Even in that case, most of the medical misinformation came from the people who he would consider virtuous.
Yeah.
These are the ones who are like, Donald Trump said to put bleach in your veins. No, he didn't. That's a lie. That is medical misinformation, sir. But he's fine with that kind of misinformation because it's on his side. Look, guys, freedom is dangerous. It is. And yeah, we have laws and stuff, Jack, for where freedoms overlap. My freedoms don't outweigh your freedoms, and that's where the law has to get involved. That's called having a society. That's called civilization.
You heard it. Monkey wants to live in a society.
But the point is to try and have as much freedom as possible without infringing on other folks.
Yeah.
And if I'm not fucking with you, don't be fucking with me. And when it comes to things like we saw that tittied man the other day when he's arguing that trans women going into women's, who does that hurt? How is that affecting you? You know what? I don't go to the Arlington schools. I don't have children in the Arlington schools. But there were children being exposed to the penis of a pedophile in the girls' locker room in a school. That is an affront to society. That is a danger to all children. It doesn't have to necessarily affect just me. And this is where this stuff kind of gets complicated for people who sit around with their thumb up their butt thinking all day about how smart they are. Like, well, it doesn't affect you personally. It doesn't have to affect just me, you fucking moron. If it's affecting somebody else, children have no voice. which is why all of these guys like to hang out with kids, because they don't tell. Somebody has to speak up for them and be like, no, the pervert with his wiener out in the locker room needs to go to fuck away. Because here's the other part that doesn't get talked about. That even if that guy was in the men's locker room with his dick just hanging out all the time, he shouldn't be doing that either.
No, especially around children.
You ain't supposed to just have your wang hanging out.
No, it used to be called indecent exposure.
Speaking of which, that reminds me of that case. I got sent this by several people today. The one that you sent me to there, Jack. So, and I, for some reason, this had popped up. This is the first thing I saw when I popped onto Twitter today. I don't know why. Why do I have a mini? There we go.
All things that are wrong are not illegal. And I'm not standing before you today telling you that what happened in that park was wrong.
All right. I need to stop her right there because I'm hoping what she just said, she just misspoke. Because she said, I'm not standing here today telling you what happened in that park was wrong. I'm sitting here today telling you what happened in that park is absolutely wrong. I don't know why you would say it's not wrong.
Well, I think she was saying it's not necessarily illegal what happened.
I think that's what she meant to say is I'm not standing here telling you it's illegal. And instead she said, I'm not standing here telling you it was wrong. For those of you who don't know, we're talking about a man who was jacking off at a park.
Yeah. Yeah. She seemed to have really no problem with that.
And she just said she's not standing here telling you it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. You should be. I feel like, hey, it's not wrong to jack off in the park in front of kids is probably not the message you want to send.
And you definitely shouldn't be telling people it's not illegal because, first of all, it absolutely is illegal. It's lewd and lascivious conduct. And usually a sex crime, by the way.
Now, this is where it gets into some... Well, let's let her finish speaking.
But I am standing before you today telling you that I trust the word of the attorney who was assigned to this case when he said, although those actions were wrong, he could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they were illegal.
Okay, so here's the story. A man with his 2-year-old son sees a dude sitting on a bench who slips his hand down his pants and starts rubbing vigorously. He then stops rubbing vigorously and stands up and his shorts fall down. Now, nobody's told me that when his shorts fell down, whether he was wearing underwear or not. And your shorts just falling down is not technically illegal. And I know some people are going to be mad about this, but she's actually right about not being able to bring charges because unless somebody has video of this that shows him actually rubbing his wiener, it was under. Now, the lewd and lascivious is the one where they could possibly get him because it's a lot more vague than like public exposure kind of laws.
Yeah, indecent exposure is a little harder to prove without multiple witnesses and some video or phones. But they could get him on lewd and lascivious.
But in order to do that, they have to prove he was actually jerking it, and unless they kept his underwear, I mean, I'm not trying to be on his side. I think this guy needs to be on a list and watched constantly now. But this is something people have got to get in their head, whether or not you can actually prove what they were doing. And if all you saw is him have his hands in his pants, that's a hard one to prove. That's a hard one to be like, no, he actually was jacking off.
I don't know if I'd use the phrase it's a hard one, but I get what you're saying.
I get why people are mad about this because this is some tone deaf shit, and she's instead of explaining it, she seems to be defensive here, and that never helps your case.
Yeah.
He
And
could
she
claim,
worded a lot very poorly in this press conference.
especially when he said, "I'm not saying it's wrong. It was wrong. If he was actually doing that, it was wrong. Just throwing that out there." But the guy, if I remember the story correctly, the one that I read, said he was rubbing it for like a full 2 minutes. I'm like, you stood there watching him jack off while you're holding your kid for 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Not one time. Look, this is the modern world. You didn't pull out your camera and record it and call the police? Somebody did apparently call the police and stuff, and that's when he stands up and his shorts fall down. But when it comes to whether or not you can actually prosecute it, that's a whole different story. Again, slap a bracelet on this guy so if he gets within a country mile of a child, it zaps his ass and he passes out. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, like if he's brazen enough to be doing this at a park, it's likely not his first time, too.
Yep.
And it probably won't be his last if he gets away with it. So, again, everybody's got a camera on their phone. What the fuck, man? Just take some pictures of this pervert and some video, and then you'll have the evidence they need.
Because right now, from everything I've seen, all you have is this guy who said this other dude stuck his hand down his pants.
And I bet he felt nuts. Sorry, this is too easy.
The timing thing too, like you for 2 minutes. Did you time it? Did you actually like look at your watch?
They wanted to know how much stamina he had.
Well, I just know people who make a bigger deal. Like that was 10 minutes. Like that was 30 seconds, bro. So I'm not discounting this, but what evidence do they actually have? And that's something a prosecutor absolutely has to worry about. I get it. Apparently she's Soros funded and we know how they treat child predators.
Yeah.
But you need evidence. You need something you can actually prosecute. And this is 2025. You didn't break out a phone, bro?
Yeah. Like I encourage people, if you've got kids at the park, wear a body cam. They're like $130 on Amazon.
I would have taped it and called the police. Like here's the evidence.
You could just hit the button on your body cam, activate it, and then all right, there's the weirdo. I'm getting my kid. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
If this guy was actually doing this, yes, let's get him into prison. But in order to do that, you've got to collect evidence. It's just the way of the world.
Yeah. And look, because the DAs are so soft on pedophiles, you have to get evidence because they're not going to go do it. They're not going to even try and push this unless they have evidence. Because the last thing they want you to do is leak that footage to the media and be like, look what they're not prosecuting.
Yeah. The Attorney General's office down there in Florida issued a letter to this lady. Where is it? You declined to prosecute a 61-year-old man who masturbated on a park bench in front of children. Your office also dismissed a case against a man who, what does it say? Possessed and shared dozens of videos showing the rape and sexual abuse of infants and toddlers. Now that one, if they have actual proof he had that, there is no reason for them not to prosecute. And frankly, if they didn't prosecute, you should be calling the FBI because it's the one thing that they occasionally do.
Yeah.
Occasionally, they will go after these child predators.
As long as they're not on a certain list of a certain Epstein.
But anyway, as you're aware, on August 16th, a father and his 2-year-old son were at Kitland Nelson Park that has a splash pad. There are multiple families with children. At least one father noticed, and pictures and videos show a man sitting on a park bench with his right hand in his pants, looking in the direction of the children. If they have actual video of this, and I don't know, Jack, I haven't seen it. Nobody who was sharing this story shared that video. You could blur out him actually masturbating.
Yeah.
The father stated that his 2-year-old son saw the man on the park bench who masturbated for approximately 5 minutes. I'm sorry, I said 2. Once the man finished,
at that age.
he removed his right hand from his pants and stood up. The park manager stated that when he stood up, his shorts dropped, exposing himself. So I'm guessing he wasn't wearing underwear.
No, he just showed his boner to the world.
The man was arrested and identified. Not only did your office fail to pursue pretrial detention, but it declined to charge him, claiming that the case was not suitable for prosecution. Now, see, this is where if you have video of him masturbating, absolutely. Absolutely. Aren't there some other charges you could hit this guy with? The AG says she's getting involved and going to take care of this personally.
Yeah. I'm betting they just didn't want to do their jobs because it sounds like if his pants fell down and his boner's hanging out, more than this guy and his kids saw that. And they either didn't interview any witnesses or they just don't want to prosecute.
According to this, the only person who mentions his nakedness was the park manager.
Yeah, the park manager though should be a fairly reliable witness. I'm on the fence about this because they may not have much of a case, but they should still try to pursue it because this is disgusting behavior. And if this guy was touching himself, he needs to be in jail.
Yes, absolutely. And if they have proof that that's what he was doing, he should absolutely be. Now, the other guy, I'm very curious. I'm much more curious about that case than this case.
Yeah.
Because this case just plaster his ass all over the different parks and people will know to watch out for him. Don't let your kid near this. The other guy who supposedly had rape of infants, Jack.
Yeah.
Images of that. I don't know how you decline to prosecute that.
Because there are a lot of DAs now that just don't want to go after kid diddlers. I didn't want to have to send you this entire story anyway, but when I sent you the clip, I was just really pissed off.
No, and I get it. But see, part of my problem also here is I also know that a lot of times people send out video or messages like this when there's a big story popping off and they get the details wrong in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if what is said here is true and they have all this evidence, absolutely he should be prosecuted. 100%. Gigi, thank you again. If pedo has no briefs, you do not file briefs. District Attorney 101. There you go. I get it with them not prosecuting pedos. You and I, we've covered this so much in here. But I just can't shake the feeling there's part of this story missing.
Yeah, I mean, probably it's still pretty early on. I just I don't have any faith in these DAs because too many of them, especially over on the West Coast, are letting perverts roam free. And they make all these lazy excuses to not do their jobs. And it makes me wonder what's on their hard drives.
Yeah, I don't know. This one is not as cut and dry. Maybe it is. It's because it's way too early for the story to have gone really big. But again, I do know. I mean, nothing against Lib's a TikTok, but she She has a habit. She's almost gone Loomer in several cases where
Yeah, she's
something
got a
comes
little
out.
excitable.
Yeah. Something comes out and she shouts it out to the world, and then you see the actual thing, and it's like, that's not what happened. I wish I knew on this case. I really do. So that if it's a pedophile, you can get him the fuck off the streets. And if it's not, y'all can leave him alone. Sorry. Needed a drink. I wish we didn't live in a world where we had to question that, though, Jack. I wish we lived in a world where we didn't have to be like, it could be a pedophile. It could not be.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, things are never cut and dry anymore because there's too many people with agendas getting involved.
Yeah, absolutely. There's enough bad shit that you don't have to lie. And again, I'm not saying that's what happened here because we just don't know. If the AG is correct and there's actual video and pictures, I love the pictures part. I don't know how you prove masturbation with pictures if his hand was in his pants.
There's a setting on your camera where you could do what are called action shots, and it takes 4 or 5 pictures at one time, so it's quick succession. And then you print them out and make a flip book.
Yeah, but even then it could be like he was scratching.
Not with that face. He's like, oh, I'm scratching. I don't know about that.
Well, I suppose if you catch him at the end, but otherwise, I mean, you guys aren't making faces when you're jacking it, are you? That's just at the end.
When I scratch myself, I'm not like, oh, Timmy. Oh, Belly.
What? No.
What? Huh?
I'm confused how the sound came from the pictures.
Well, there was an audio recording too. I don't know.
Apparently.
I'll step on the joke, man.
Check Twitter might send you all a patch of females. What? What's a patch of females?
Is that like a Cabbage Patch that grows women? If so, is there an Asian version?
Yeah. I do wish though we could trust AG or not even to the AG, to these prosecutors. I don't trust them on much, especially if you tell me that they are Soros funded. Because we've seen the Soros funded DAs. That's Schmidt up there in Portland, and what's his name down there? Gascon down there in LA.
Yeah.
These are shitty fucking people who are like, I mean, crime's not a big deal.
Yeah, if you don't prosecute, it's not a real crime, right? Crime rate dropped.
These are people who are more concerned over going after Trump because he got a loan they didn't like, which he paid back and nobody got hurt with, than going after actual criminals. That's disgusting to me. But, I mean, look, if this prosecutor's refusing to do it and they do have this evidence and the AG down there in Florida is involved, then they'll get him in state court and good. The only problem then becomes, Jack, what about all the other criminals that are getting off that nobody's paying attention to?
Yeah.
Because if you have a DA who's willing to let somebody go where they have them dead to rights on masturbating in a park, what are they bothering to prosecute?
Nazis.
Nothing good comes from the. I understand prosecutorial discretion, and there's a good reason for it, Jack.
Yeah, but they've really abused that for quite a while.
It's not supposed to be that, hey, I don't want to make pedophiles look bad. No, you're supposed to be out there protecting the public. Government, Jack.
Tell me about it.
It's the problem with government is that you can't give people power without somebody abusing it.
Yeah.
There's never been like a pristine government ever in the history of ever.
It never will either. People are way too easily corrupted. And people that seek out power shouldn't have it.
Yeah, it's better than anarchy most of the time, or some of the time.
Yeah.
But we need to keep an eye on these assholes and stop giving them the benefit of the doubt on stuff that's clearly wrong. I mean, Marion Barry gets busted doing crack, banging whores, and they reelected him after he served his prison term.
Yeah. How bad was the mayor before him that he gets reelected? Like, well, a crackhead's better.
Jerry Springer had to go out and change careers because they found a check of his at a whorehouse.
Well, who writes a check to a prostitute?
Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
I can actually answer that.
I know. It's just, it's mind-blowing.
We used to have a thing where, like, okay, you fucked up. We're not throwing you in jail, but you got to go away now. We'll see you at Walmart and you can greet us. And instead, now it's like, oh, they did horrible shit. I guess we should reelect them. Look, Marion Barry went to jail, paid for his crimes. Fine. But how do you vote for that guy?
Question for the ages.
I just don't get it. He should be free to run, sure. But how does he ever get a vote? I don't get it. I guess it's just too much of our tribalistic nature when it comes to political parties and stuff. And DC has been so disgustingly blue for so long that literally a crackhead can run and get elected. Bitch, set me up. We used to have some standards. And frankly, the left wants to preach to me about shit like grab them by the pussy. I don't find, even if Donald Trump actually did that, I don't find that as objectionable as being found in a hotel room with crack and prostitutes.
Yeah, or the one guy that got caught with the male hooker that was ODing in Florida.
He totally didn't do that.
Yeah,
he was just a little drunk from a wedding that even his wife didn't know about.
Yeah. Look, Trump said they let you grab him by the pussy.
Yep.
You grab him by the pussy, they let you. Because you're rich and famous. He wasn't wrong about that. Look at Weinstein. But no, we just brushed aside half of that sentence and brushed aside dudes with ODing male hookers.
Oh, by the way, that's Andrew Gilliam for anybody who's wondering who Jack's talking about.
Yeah, I forgot his name. So
he came very close to being governor of Florida 6 years ago, and DeSantis squeaked one out there. And a couple of months later, maybe a year later, he gets caught in a hotel room where there's a male hooker ODing, and there is meth all over the room.
Yeah, the other guy, not DeSantis.
The police let him go because he said he's just a little tipsy from being at a wedding earlier in the day.
Right.
And my favorite part of that story is that the way that the police got called in the first place is because the pimp showed up to see what was going on.
Right.
And they're like, nah, they were just friends who were talking. Yeah, that's why the pimp showed up.
How bad is your life if your pimp has to show up and save you?
Well, let's be honest. The reason the pimp showed up is because Andrew Gilliam called him and went, this fucker's dying.
I have a feeling that he's just like, come get your boy. And he didn't tell him he was ODing.
I am shocked Gilliam stayed around. That's how you know he was high. Because if he wasn't high, he'd have unasked that area quick.
I mean, I know guys that even high would have known to get the fuck out of there.
But that's how fucking high he was.
That's really high when you're like, yeah, just hang around, wait for the ambulance, man.
And they just let him go.
Yeah.
No drug testing, nothing.
I feel bad for those cops because they were put in a no-win situation. Like, if he wins the election again later down the line, your career's over. He will make it a personal vendetta to come after you.
Nepal is very practical. Too bad the USA is way too big. So again, I don't know. I'm happy to find a different solution because I don't want people to die. About what? What are we talking about there? I don't want people to die, but it depends on. Look, if you step in front of a train, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah,
that's not me wanting that person to die. That's just physics. So, what are we talking about there, Pale Rider? He started that by saying, "I might be the most radical here. I try to be moderate." I don't try to be moderate. I try to be logical.
I occasionally have to censor my thoughts because of YouTube rules. I have named Slickback. That should be the name of the movie.
I have no interest in being moderate. I have an interest in being correct. I see people talk about that. We need more moderates. Depends on what you mean by moderates. Typically, when we hear moderate, it just means pussy who agrees with the right or the left. And yeah. Nepal had a revolution against their corrupt communist government. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they burnt down their parliament building, remember?
Oh, right.
Yeah, we talked about Rio briefly.
Yeah. It's Nepal, so I don't really give a shit. No offense to Nepal. I don't believe they give a shit what happens to me either. So,
well, you see, you take Nepal, Tibet, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. They're all pretty interchangeable because I'm never going to any of them. And I don't really give a fuck about them either. Nothing personal to those people. Just they're such small countries that are so far away, so far removed from us. What happens there really has no impact.
Now, I don't want anybody to die in that situation, but if that's what it takes to drive out the commies, that's the price of freedom, yo.
Yeah, and unfortunately, usually with the commies, that is what it takes.
Yet another communist failure. Yeah. YouTube sucks. I'm used to censoring myself. Yeah. I apologize for it. We have no censoring here. The only thing we do ask is not that you don't say shit that's going to get us in trouble. But any censorship in the YouTube chat is coming from YouTube. If you say something that I have,
the new president of Nepal. Sorry.
If you say something I have to censor, I'll point it out at the time.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of that around here.
Bangladesh is the one Soros toppled in a coup, right? I don't remember. Soros has been involved in a few, let's call them international incidents.
Yeah, he did break the Bank of England too.
Yeah. He is a shitbag piece of shit. And he's one of those, when he dies, I will not be being like, hey, guys, be nice. Fuck that little commie shitbag. He has been ruinous to many, and I'm not even talking about woke nonsense here, Jack. I mean, he's actually ruined countries.
Yeah, on purpose. Probably, from what I could tell, just to see if he could do it.
What's Soros up to in Nepal? I have no idea if he's in Nepal. Is Bangladesh in Nepal? No. I don't know geography.
No, they're separate countries.
That's what I thought. Okay. Couple of countries he wants or want him to stand trial. Yeah, and he should. He absolutely should. But is he really that much different from the World Economic Forum?
No.
I almost forgot to talk about that little cunt bag from Colombia.
Yeah, I was going to remind you about that.
So what is he, a president?
Yeah, he's the president of Colombia.
The president of Colombia is mad that we're killing drug dealers, and so he comes to the UN and asks for an investigation of the United States, which I don't give a fuck about. We can tell we're permanent member. We can tell you to go fuck yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But then he goes out into the streets of New York and calls for protests. Look here, you donkey riding little cunt. Go home.
Yeah, that's what the feds told him.
Yep, the State Department has said they're revoking his visa for this, and they should.
Yeah, they already did it.
The idea that a foreign leader comes to our shores, we give them some leeway when they're in the UN, because that's international property for some fucking reason. But this motherfucker stepped out onto the streets of my country to tell people. What happened to election interference, Jack? What happened?
It's okay when commies do it.
Yeah, lefties should be losing their goddamn minds, and instead they're standing around cheering this asshole.
Yeah, because he's got the correct right side of history politics for them.
Yeah, that guy can get fucked by a concrete dildo.
I agree with that.
I would play the video of him, but I'm not going to give him any more attention than just calling him a shitbag.
Yeah, it's in Spanish anyway. So
little donkey riding shitbag.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck that guy. I'm glad they revoked his visa and sent him packing. They probably should have stripped his diplomatic status too, but he's only an interim president, so it's kind of pointless.
Fair enough, yeah. But hey, you stood up to the big bad US of A and you said words.
Yeah, you were undermining the authority of the U.S. government on American soil. That's not a smart move. We tend to frown on that most of the time.
Look, I get it. Your corrupt government counts on the cocaine trade.
Yeah,
but fuck off. I for a long, long time, we've just turned a blind eye to the shit you guys have been doing, and we finally have a government that's like, no. And that's how it should have been all along.
Yeah, and honestly, I think a lot of these leaders do not understand what's happening because they're so used to shitting on the U.S., on U.S. soil. They're a little confused by the whole thing.
Her says they should charge him for incitement since he told our troops to essentially rebel. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It probably create a big international brouhaha, but I don't really give a fuck. And I don't think Trump does either.
They keep fucking around and people be like, wait, where'd Colombia go?
Yeah, like we haven't bombed the shit out of that dirt country before.
Go mind your business and we wouldn't have to mind it for you. And this is one of those times where it's like, well, you shouldn't be paying attention to what we're doing. What you're doing is directly affecting us. You keep sending drugs up this way. Fuck yourself. We don't have large poppy fields here in the fucking U.S. We don't have the coca fields. None of that shit's here. We got marijuana fields.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gigi, thank you. Trump should have pulled an Ecuador and said plata or plama to his feckless ass. Yeah, I wish somebody had been there on site and just arrested his ass. I saw some dumbass American say, I thought we had freedoms here, when people suggested this guy should be kicked the fuck out. And actually, it was in response to the State Department saying they were revoking his visa.
Yeah, he's a foreigner. He doesn't have the same freedoms as citizens.
Nope. He had the freedom to say what he wanted to say in the UN in his stupid little speech that nobody gave a shit about.
Yeah, and he does not have the right to try and topple a foreign government on their soil or advocate for it in any country.
Nope.
That would literally be incitement. That's not covered under the First Amendment.
And he's not covered under the First Amendment any fucking way.
Exactly. So it's kind of ridiculous. Did you hear the other thing that happened over at the UN?
What thing?
One of our government officials got attacked in the bathroom.
Oh, no, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they didn't name him, but it's an HHS official. Somebody followed him in the bathroom, and they recorded this where they physically assaulted and verbally accosted the individual. A deranged leftist, according to the White House Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly. The official is safe, but the crazy person was arrested as part of a disturbing, dangerous set of failures by the UN after their sabotage of President Trump ahead of and during his speech.
Man, no, and I'm not shocked I didn't hear about that one because it's more lefty violence.
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you hear about Antifa torching Ice Cube's tour bus?
I heard that there was a fire at his house, but when I saw it, the only thing that they knew is that there had been a fire and that nobody was saying what caused it.
Yeah, it was in Portland. They torched his bus because they heard ice, apparently, and they thought it was not a tour bus because they're not smart people. So
yeah, I didn't hear about his bus. I heard there was a fire next to his house.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
But, well. He didn't melt, so I think he's lying about his name.
Maybe it's like dry ice that doesn't really melt.
Oh yeah. Well, you would evaporate eventually. Become material. Huh.
I'm so tired of the left and their violence and it being excused or ignored.
Yeah. Well, they did. They are activating this joint terrorism task force now, so maybe that'll help round them up. They have started arresting more people in the past 48 hours or so. So especially over Portland and Seattle. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
I mean, if you get them on terrorism charges, sure. The problem is we don't actually have a domestic terrorist designation in this country. And reportedly, the executive order that Trump signed for Antifa does declare him that. And if that goes to court, that will be thrown out. What he can do, this is where I watched Legal's Mindset video on this like a week ago. And this is where he misread what Trump said because Trump said major terrorist threat. And he's like, they're not we don't have domestic terrorism. But what they can do is like, hey, go after these guys more vigorously. But you're not going to get them on a terrorist charge unless you can actually link them to terrorism. If you keep treating them like just a random group, they need to be labeled an international terrorist organization.
Yeah.
So that we can use the terrorism laws against them. Because what we're doing now isn't working, and what'll end up happening is you'll have these guys arrested, and then it'll go through a state court where Schmidt will be like, I don't see a problem here. So it's going to have to be an actual federal charge, which that's where the terrorism ones come in, and it's just about doing it properly. And this is Trump's biggest failing as a president is getting the minutia of how government works done correctly.
Well, I think the Secretary of State has to make that designation, which would be Rubio.
The president can do it.
Yeah, but for the prosecutions to be more effective, the way I understand it is if the Secretary of State calls them a terrorist group, then they're allowed to open up more resources to actually pursue this.
Yeah, it's
some weird Patriot Act bullshit.
The designation of a domestic terrorist group, though, doesn't really do anything. All he can really do is say, hey, I want you to go after these guys more. Where if he did actually do it as a international as just a regular terrorist group, you can use every tool we have against them, which is what needs done.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see one more retarded motherfucker go, Antifa's not really a thing.
Ugh.
Get fucked. They're not an organization. Seem pretty organized for not being organized.
Yeah. Rose City Antifa would probably disagree with that.
Look, I don't like the RICO statutes, but while they're there, I mean, if you ask the certain members of the Italian community, there's no such thing as the mafia, Jack.
Yeah, the Black Hand is a myth.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking exist. It's a Hollywood made up thing. But we still prosecute those shitbags. What time we got here? Oh yeah, good. I'm tired. I need to go back to bed. I only slept like 5 hours, dude.
It's 5 hours. What do you do with your time?
And I got shit to do this morning. I probably won't even get to any sleep. If I go to sleep right now, I probably could get some. Oh. Did the guy who offed himself on the roof across the street from the ICE facility have a cell phone? I don't know. That guy's disappearing from the news. Yeah, he's disappearing from the news real quick when they're like, "Oh shit, he actually was a anti-ICE guy."
Yeah. Well, whatever. First of all, he killed some sainted illegals, and he's obviously a lefty, so they're going to get all that stuff out of the news cycle and try and bury it faster than you can say Vegas shooter.
I'm yawning. I'm so sorry. Did you see iDub say that he wants to be the white Hassan?
iDub says a lot of things on his stupid streams. Have you watched any of his streams?
No.
Dude, they are boring.
I don't hate myself enough to listen to that fucktard very long.
He says like outlandish shit like that on the regular. He just says stupid things because he's trying to fill time and make content. And I'm pretty sure there might be something mentally wrong with that young man.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. Yeah,
like is he slow or something? Because, dear God, what is going on with that guy? Pussy ruined him. I don't know how else to say it.
Oh, excuse me. I think that he's one of those people who is actually very shy, and the internet gave him a chance to be somebody different and be more outgoing and pretend that he wasn't the shy little kid. And then he finally got himself a woman, and like many guys before him, just, well, I want to keep hitting it, so whatever she says goes.
Yeah, that's always tragic. I feel bad for him because she seems like a real basket case to me.
Talking about iDubbbz, Justin. Or just in. Okay. What was the other one that he did that I wanted to talk about? Fuck, I just lost it. Because there's the white Hassan thing, which is funny as shit. Hassan is white, okay? He pretends he's brown when it's a way for him to claim victimhood.
Yeah, he likes to hide behind his level of melanin.
You look like Steven Crowder. Nobody's confusing you as brown, dude.
No.
And how you be in the sun as much as you are and not get darker as a Turk?
That is inbreeding.
I guess.
And he started out as albino.
Right out of his ass. What was the other one that iDubbbz did? Shit, I don't.
He's done some stupid stuff. I saw he got into it with the wrestling coach that he hired. He was crying about that.
Boxing coach, yeah.
Boxing coach, yeah.
Yeah, Willie Mack put out a video about iDubbbz. I watched it right before the show.
Yeah, I watched it earlier. Man, what a mess.
It was about what was wrong with him. I can't remember, though. I just enjoy watching it to watch people destroy themselves.
Yeah, His obsession with Kino Casino is pathetic. They sent him a ton of viewers, and he just whines about it.
He's upset because they're insulting his nasty little wife.
Yeah, like the hypocrisy there of like they're being all judgmental about somebody else, and she's doing OnlyFans. I'm glad Willie pointed that out. Like you don't have moral high ground there, bucko.
What was the Hassan thing I saw today?
Did it come out that he's smelly?
No, it was clips of him talking about the shooting that happened at ICE.
Oh.
And it starts out with him going, yeah, sure, it's probably an anti-ICE guy who killed these immigrants. And then it came out that, yeah, that's exactly what happened. And we're like, well, it was still probably the right's fault anyway.
Yeah, okay, dude.
I really hope that our audience, that if we were wrong as often as that shitbag is, I was going to use the F slur, as often as he is, that they would just tune out.
Yeah. I don't know why anybody watches Hassan other than to make fun of him. Beyond that, I don't understand the appeal there because he is wrong so often.
Yeah.
And he doesn't fact check anything. He's not even a vouch level where he's looking at Wikipedia.
No, he just spouts from whatever he thinks at the time, and he's not a very smart guy.
No, he's really dumb.
Occasionally, somebody will write up a thing for him when he goes to talk somewhere to make him sound smarter. But when he's actually challenged anywhere, he falls apart every time.
Yeah, because he doesn't know anything and he doesn't actually learn anything. So he never remembers anything. And the stuff he does remember is just random talking points that he comes up with on the fly. Also, I'm pretty sure his mom has to tie his shoes.
Faithless says, or at least push back. His audience does push back, and then he bans them.
Yeah.
He bans people all the time for arguing against him.
Oh, yeah, especially if you say Israel didn't do that, that's an automatic permaban.
And the other day, he was whining because somebody in his chat pointed out that he uses violent rhetoric, and he's like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I can name 3 off the top of my head.
Yeah, right? At least.
Kill him. Kill him. Let the streets run red with their fucking red capitalist blood, I believe is the exact quote.
Yeah.
He doesn't push any violence. And no, he's not for that. I asked him earlier, and I doubt he answered, to explain what somebody needs to do it means, because we're supposed to all know what that means. But if he's not pushing political violence, I took that to mean somebody needs to kill Trump, but I need to know his definition.
Yeah.
Because apparently he thinks it means somebody needs to go for ice cream or something.
Yeah, I would call that into suspect land. That doesn't seem accurate.
I got to be honest, I'm actually quite surprised that Clancy hasn't kicked him off yet. You're going to have to answer for him in a little less than 2 weeks now, Dan.
Maybe Dan's going to try and skip it, and they're going to be forced to subpoena him.
Yeah, because this is an invitation to speak before Congress, but it's kind of like bring your ass.
Yeah, show up or get subpoenaed, and if he ends up having to get subpoenaed, I bet there's a sudden investigation opened into Twitch.
If he has to get subpoenaed, it's going to be so much worse.
Yeah.
There was another. So we talked the other day about YouTube allowing people back on the platform.
Yeah.
Which, according to YouTube, they actually haven't started doing it.
That's
you see,
weird.
the Fuentes crowd, Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones, both, upon the announcement of that, which, by the way, was not an announcement. It was a letter that was sent to Jim Jordan, and it got leaked to the press, and the press were the ones talking about it.
Yeah.
Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes immediately made new accounts.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
And they were immediately banned for it. And Lauren Chen said they got to YouTube. Now, I didn't want to assume, but I'm assuming she means the Jews. But here's the thing. Even if they had started implementing this program, it said you had to apply.
Yeah.
And it's for reinstatement, not for a new account. You have to be reinstated before you can make a new account, because if you make a new account while you're still banned, you're violating YouTube's rules against ban evasion.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of people, they're doing it again. No, they're not. I know YouTube sucks. Trust me. I have plenty of bitches about YouTube. But stop falling for retarded shit from Spurgs.
Yeah. That was an attempt to gin up publicity for them.
Yep.
Pretty obvious. Yeah, they have to apply to be reinstated. And we've already seen people getting reinstated.
Yeah.
So they might have been reinstated, but this is more financially lucrative in the short term. It's terrible long-term strategy.
Because you've now broken the rules again. And as far as I know, neither one of them was banned for COVID or election misinformation, which is the only things that YouTube said that they would be reversing.
Yeah.
Alex Jones got it because of the Sandy Hook verdict. And
which was kind of shitty. But
yeah. But he wouldn't qualify even under what we were told.
Yeah.
And Fuentes it was for the Jew stuff. Yeah,
and let's face it, they both likely knew that, and this was just a publicity stunt.
Yep.
So,
and a bunch of dummies went running along with them like, I can't believe they do this to you.
Yeah, it's dirty.
Stop being tools. Use your fucking brains. Lauren, you're smarter than this. Or maybe not. I'm beginning to wonder. They got to YouTube. Yeah. The fucking Jews were like, don't let Fuentes talk. That's what Netanyahu's spending his fucking time on.
Well, he gave a speech that a bunch of people walked out on, so I didn't watch it, but he might have said that.
Yeah. Hey, right and left, you've done it. You're making the whole world hate Jews for getting attacked and fighting back.
Good job, idiots.
Take a bow. Jesus. I don't understand our world, Jack.
I just work here, dude. I don't really know either. I've stopped trying to figure it out. It's too crazy.
It's Israel's war.
The genocide. Yeah, shut up. Who cares?
They've been claiming genocide there even long before this war. I mean, they were saying it before October 7th.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
As the Palestinian population was exploding, and I don't mean blowing people up. I mean actually tons more little Palestinians being born.
Yeah, but that word doesn't mean anything anymore. It's like racism and fascism. The definition means you're a bad person.
The only genocide going on in Gaza is of Hamas, which I'm okay with eradicating a terrorist organization.
Yeah, like this is an ancient blood feud between different tribal regions anyway, the Jews and the Arabs, and then the Muslims and the Jews, and blah, blah. One of them's going to wipe the other out. It's just a matter of when, and I don't care anymore. I think the Jews are largely in the right. Have they committed some war crimes? I don't know, maybe. But they were attacked first. Don't attack people if you don't want to get war crimed.
Yep.
Seems kind of straightforward to me, but I'm just kind of tired of hearing about it.
In the grand scheme of things, I don't care because it's their shit and they should be dealing with it. But in the principle of the matter, people siding with terrorists. No, I don't side with the terrorists. Yeah, you are. You are. Stop being a pussy and just say it. You're siding with the no, it's the Palestinian children. Their own parents don't care. Why do you?
Yeah. Their parents want their kids to be martyrs. That's how they're brainwashed. It's generational at this point. You're not going to undo that brainwashing.
Their parents are the ones who put them in this position.
Yeah, but they volunteer their kids for this.
When Hamas comes to hang out with them. They don't push them out and be like, hey, my kids are here, motherfucker.
Yeah. They celebrate them. Well, and a lot of these people are their friends, neighbors, relatives.
Yep.
So it's a very ingrained society, and it's a bunch of generational hate that you're not going to get rid of very easily. So yeah, if they end up killing all these people, they're not going to root out Hamas unless there's massive bloodshed. It's just the way it is. You don't have to like that. Nobody likes to see a bunch of people get killed, but at some point, this is inevitable that there's going to be one side wiping the other side out.
Well, there'd be a lot less bloodshed if Hamas would man up and meet them on the field of battle instead of hiding behind children.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that because they don't have the manpower, the weaponry, and they're kind of cowards. So they hide behind bombs and rockets and children.
If they really wanted to stop, they'd turn over the hostages and beg mercy. They don't even have to beg mercy. Just turn over the fucking hostages.
Yeah, that's been the request for a while now. That's been everything that the Trump administration and the Israelis have said is if you want peace, you have to release the hostages and turn over the remains. That's it. That's their only real requirement.
Yep. But everybody, those dastardly Jews, fuck right off with that stupid shit.
Yeah. At this point, if they don't surrender, I think Netanyahu's just going to annex all of Gaza and say, all of you need to leave. Because how much of that do you need to put up with where you have enemies literally at your gates throwing rockets over the border into your cities all the time?
Well, everybody loves to just make it out that the Jews, they just want to kill them all. They've been dealing with terrorism for they were dealing with it for decades before we started having to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not new at this. It's been this way since the very beginning of the Israeli state. And back when the Jews were in Judea, they were putting up with the Roman invasions, the Egyptian invasions. None of this is new. None of it. It's ancient blood feuds. You go back 2,000 years and trace the same kind of bullshit, just newer weaponry.
Glass Gaza, I would have done that from the beginning.
You can't wind shift. You're going to get a bunch of nuclear fallout in your own backyard.
I think what you need to do is you need to move the Gazans out.
Yeah.
Because they can't be trusted to live there without violence. And for the record, I feel the same about the West Bank. And I know, but they live there. I live there peacefully.
Yeah.
The Jews ain't fucking with you.
That's the problem, though, is they can't live there peacefully because they keep attacking the Jews.
The only ones with a genocidal spirit, literally one of them on their flag, are the Palestinians.
Yeah.
They're the ones like, the Jews got to go.
But
and
Egypt
somehow
figured this out a long time ago.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
I think I'm back. Okay.
Yeah, you're here.
Somehow it's the Jews who have gotten all the blame for this. The useful idiots just comes to mind.
Yep.
And you now have the right and left in America, a growing number of the right. They're like, yeah, them fucking Jews did it. Even to the point where you have Candace fucking Owens talking about how much money Netanyahu spent to silence her and Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, and I've seen no actual evidence of that.
Hey, Candace said it, so it's true.
Yeah, she says lots of things that are kind of crazy. When you make Alex Jones sound sane, you're a kook, okay? And I know he's hyperbolic and, a lot of it's for entertainment, but fuck's sake, lady, you make flat earthers sound coherent. Real quick, thank you, Aval Patel. Did you know your tax money's going to funding Hamas because your money goes to the UN and the UN's UNRWA fund schools that teach children that they need to fight and die against the Jews and everyone else. The UN really needs to be defunded. I don't know why we're still in the UN. It has served us nothing but trouble for the better part of 3 decades now.
The Israelis came out and said that the UN was helping Hamas. And they're like, how dare you? And the press said, how dare you? And then it came out that they were, and the press went,
nothing to see here.
Yeah, I didn't get cut off. I just stopped talking because that's what they did.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. It's disgusting because they were. And it's not a shock because the UN is full of dictators and psychopaths. And I mean, when you have like all these shitty countries on like the Human Rights Council and they're the biggest offenders, fuck off. So yeah, it's not surprising the UN was helping Hamas. I'm actually surprised they got caught.
Before we wrap up, I do want to talk about this.
Is it how awesome we are?
No, it's about this fat little illegal.
Oh, yeah.
If you are concerned about Kimmel, here's another one for you. Journalist Mario Guevara has been detained for 100+ days, ironically arrested as he filmed a No Kings protest. There's nothing ironic about that, homie. Trump admin just issued an order of final removal to send him to El Salvador, where he lived 21 years ago.
Well, bye.
Peace. Okay. This guy, he's being deported because he's been here for 21 years when he shouldn't have been at all. Their big thing is he's a journalist. Well, good. He can go home to El Salvador and do journalism there. Go show them how free press works.
Well, good luck with that.
This motherfucker was given what's called a notice of voluntary removal, which basically means get out and we won't throw you out. That was in 2012, Jack. In 2012, he got an order that said, you need to leave. And instead of doing that, he stayed here mooching off of us and building this news network. And he got arrested in this No Kings protest for being in the street and not moving when he was told to. And the DA down there, well, there's not enough to prosecute on. But ICE was like, we have questions for him. And so they put a detainer on him, and he's been held ever since. And like, he should have bond. No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't even be in the fucking country.
Yeah, why would you give him bond?
Well, because they want him to.
So?
I don't know why these idiots think telling me how long these people have been breaking our laws is going to make me go, oh, well, if he's been breaking the law for 21 years, well, we can't stop him now.
Yeah, I mean, he's grandfathered in. He's just a piece of shit that's been here for a super long time. So what? He's been a scumbag for a long time. Got it.
I do wonder if these people watch like cold case files and like they caught the murderer 30 years later, but he's been a good citizen since then. He should be free. It's been 30 years. I don't understand their thinking. And like, he's been here for 21 years. Fuck him. That's 21 years too long.
Yep.
His lawyers are, was it his lawyers or the ACLU? It was the ACLU. Because his lawyers are like, I'm not making this up. His lawyers claim he shouldn't be deported, Jack, because he has a path to citizenship through his son sponsoring him to be here. So his anchor baby is going to make it so he can stay here.
No,
fuck
that shit. I don't care if he's got kids. He knew he was illegal. You made those decisions hoping that the kid would be your literal anchor. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, you sack of shit. Get out.
The ACLU is arguing that his order for voluntary removal wasn't actually the government telling him to get out of the country. It was saying get out if you want to. That's not what the voluntary removal thing is. There's two ways you can be deported. Leave or we'll make you leave.
Yeah.
And the order of voluntary removal is get out. Get the fuck out. You have no business being here. And the ACLU is like, no, that meant he could stay. No.
This is not what that means.
Yep, get out. I don't care about you. And this whole, he's been detained for 100 days. I don't care. I don't care. He's been off our streets for 100 days. That's a win. Yo, what's up, guys? It's fall in Minnesota road trip. You know, I was talking to Lady Monkey the other day because everybody talks about the road trips through New England to see all the pretty trees and shit.
Yeah.
One of the few graces I will give to Michigan, fall is beautiful up here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the great thing about like Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
All of New England. Fall is beautiful. It's what follows that sucks ass.
Yes. Well, part of fall sucks ass because those beautiful leaves eventually fall on the ground.
Yeah.
And I have to rake them up. And that's bullshit.
That's something that the tourists don't have to see very often.
The 20 plus years I've lived in this house, we've had 2 years where right after the tree or the leaves all clear from the trees and they're all over my yard, a major windstorm comes and blows them into my neighbor's yard. Those are 2 glorious years I think about every time I'm fucking raking.
Yeah.
Or more often using the leaf blower because that's way easier than raking.
So true. Yeah, I got one of those Hart leaf blowers because it uses the same battery as the Hart weed whacker I got.
Mm.
And oh my god, my back thanks me every time I use it.
We have 2 leaf blowers. My wife's leaf blower, which is battery operated, and mine, which is cord operated. I don't like the gas powered ones because they're way too fucking loud.
Oh, they're super loud.
Yeah. West Virginia had beautiful fall. Yeah, but they also have inbreeding.
West Virginia is very beautiful. I will absolutely grant you that.
Most of my time spent in West Virginia, I didn't like it at all. There's nothing about West Virginia except for our audience members that's redeemable.
Oh, they have giant monsters. They got Mothman. They got the Flatwoods monster. They got Bigfoot. They got that creepy Parkersburg sighting with Indrid Cold. There's all sorts of crazy shit that happens there.
That's all the product of inbreeding.
No.
Yes.
I think you're mistaking them for parts of Kentucky.
Nope. It's
in Alabama. Definitely
West
Alabama.
Virginia. There's like 3 last names, and 2 of those were changed from the original. Connecticut just moved to end marriages between first cousins. I saw that, and I don't understand why. You know what I mean? It's not like there was some new report that just came out that said marrying your first cousin might be bad. You know what I mean?
Well, it may have just reached them. They're like, oh, wait.
I'm not saying they were wrong to do it. I'm just, usually when there's a change like that, where there's some law that's existed forever, something happened to cause it to change, you know? Like, were there 2, I don't live in Connecticut or follow their politics that much, but was there like a famous couple there that turned out to be first cousins and they all went, maybe we shouldn't do this.
This is a bad look.
and I didn't read the bill. So does it like, because every article I've seen on it says first cousin. So they're like, but your second cousin is okay.
Well, I mean, the genetics are spread a little thinner. They get some new ones in there.
Not that much thinner.
Look, dude, I'm just trying to come up with a reason where they're like second cousins are sexy.
At some point, you have to make the distinction of where that cuts off, right? Like fifth cousins. All right. I don't even know any of my fifth cousins. I think the closest I know is like third cousins, because up here everybody knows that shit. Like, oh, yeah, you're related to so and so, and I'm like, I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, I am aware of like two people that are distant relatives, but nobody knows because it's so far removed. It's like they're in the family reunions, but nobody really knows why because they're so far removed. But yeah, I couldn't even tell you a third cousin at this point. I don't know any of that shit.
How do you know the toothbrush was invented in West Virginia? Because if it was invented anywhere else, it would be called the teeth brush. Yeah.
That's
fair. Fifth is just some dude in town. Yeah, but there has to be a delineation in the law, right? Like they had to sit down and be like, all right, look, fucking your sister's wrong. We agree, right? Yeah. Cousins, my first cousin, that's a little too close. My second cousin's kind of hot though.
I don't have any hot relatives, so I have a little trouble relating to this, but I think it's legal in most places to marry your second cousin.
I'm be honest with you. If you want to marry your first cousin, I think you should be allowed to. I don't think you should, but if you want to, I think you should be allowed to.
I think you should have to wear a sign. Like a
t-shirt. I think they'll see your kids and they'll be like, oh.
It's Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel.
Yes. Like, oh, you made a Krasenstein.
Oh, what if you don't know that you're related and you end up like, because you hear those stories like the dad was a philanderer or something and you don't know it was your first cousin.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those are always tragic to me because you have to go through the rest of your life knowing that you're related.
Find out the love of your life is a little too closely related. Yeah.
You're supposed to love them in a different way.
That's why you shouldn't live in the same town as your parents grew up in.
It does seem like that could be a terrible idea. Like where all of your family is located.
Yep.
But I can't say much. A lot of my family lives or lived nearby. Most of them are dead now, though. So that makes it easier.
Or your actual sister. Look, all right, this one's going to get me in trouble. I think if you're consenting adults and you want to marry your sister, you should be allowed to. I don't care. I wouldn't marry my sister. I think it's fucking gross, but you do you. That's one of those, when they talk like the fat-titted guy, like the trans people aren't hurting anybody else. A brother marrying his sister doesn't affect me at all. It doesn't hurt me in any way. I don't understand why that one is illegal. Given especially the talking points like from the gay marriage debate, like love is love. You can't control who you love unless it's your sister. Not allowed to breed. I think they should be allowed to breed, but whatever comes of it, they have to deal with, not us.
Yeah, no taxpayer funding if you're going to make inbreds.
Yeah. If you're going to make a little Hassan, that's on you. But when it comes to the actually like right to do so, if you're going to be like, well, love is love, so men can marry men, men should be able to marry their sister. My sister looks like Travis Tritt, so and she.
Well, that's haunting.
That's actually true. My sister she's a lesbian who looks like Travis Tritt. And
wow. Back in the mullet days, or
yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow.
She still feathers her hair. Yeah.
So does Travis Tritt.
Yep. And she's my foster sister, and I wouldn't marry her.
Ooh.
So I'm not for marrying your sister. I just think you should be allowed to marry your sister. I'm just saying.
Stepbrother, what are you doing?
Again, that is all contingent on consenting adult. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah. I love her though. She's my sister. And since she's a lesbian, we can talk about hot chicks together.
That's true.
Yeah. We've had those conversations. And with that, good night. You're going to go to sleep thinking about Travis Tritt being your lesbian sister. What a weird night.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind. Jack, anything you want to shill tonight?
I've dropped some links in the chat already, and I'll drop another one here. Did a stream yesterday. If anybody wants to check that out, I'm dropping the link for that now. It is on Rumble and on YouTube. As always, thank you guys so much for all the donations and tips. You guys are awesome. And I'm so glad to see everybody come out whenever we're streaming. We always have the people coming out and checking it out. That's frankly quite awesome because a lot of people can't do that. So
C21 says, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, just best audience on YouTube. That's all I was saying.
C21 says, looking at Travis Tritt right now. Yeah, if you've never seen Travis Tritt, she doesn't have the facial hair. So you got to look at him without his facial hair. But yes, I'm not making that up. I love you if you're listening, but you look like Travis Tritt, sweetie.
Well, look, everybody looks like somebody.
She might not look like that anymore. It's been a while since I've seen her, and we are much older these days. I don't even know what Travis Tritt looks like anymore. I know what she used to look like he used to look. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Don't hump your sister, but if you're, adults do it. I don't care. Is it wrong not to care about that? Because people get so passionate about that.
I don't know. I think it's gross.
It is gross.
People are weird. I don't know.
I think people who lick feet are weird, but I think they should be allowed to do it.
Oh, those foot people are. I never will understand foot fetish, man.
That shit's gross.
I don't know who touched you.
There's a lot of shit that I think is gross, but I don't think it should be illegal. What? My brother looks like Keystone Butterbeer face guy. I don't know who that is.
That's awfully specific.
Yeah. Anyway, a pleasure as always, Jack.
Oh, always glad to be here.
Wait, what? You don't want athlete's foot on your tongue? No, but that I will leave everybody with this story for those who haven't heard it before. There's a woman came in one day. I worked in HBA in Walmart, and a woman came in asking me to help her find something because she couldn't find it, and she leads me over to the vaginal itching section.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, okay.
You
what are you looking for? Cooter? It's worse, Jack. It gets worse.
Oh.
And she goes, my doctor said to get something with this in it. And she showed me some long fucking word I didn't know. And we go through all of it, the Vagisil, the everything, all of it. Like none of it had it. And like maybe you go to a pharmacy, maybe it's a very specialized product. And we part ways. And then she comes back to me. She goes, I found it. I'm like, yeah. She goes, yeah, it's over here. And she takes me over to the place for foot fungus.
Jesus.
The ingredient that she was supposed to get is the stuff that they use to get rid of nail fungus. And she was looking for it in the place for crotch stuff. So y'all do the math.
Wow.
Everybody, take care of yourselves. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
She had foot fetish. No, not fetish. She had foot fungus vagina. Oh, do you think it grew on its own or somebody